How would you feel if you interviewed someone that you are truly inspired by? Someone that you looked up to and have listened to for as long as you can remember? That group right there. My next guest is a founding member of A Tribe Called Quest, Jarobi White. I cannot stress enough how privileged I feel to have discussed so many things with Jarobi over damn near 2 hours. We touched on how Michael Rappaport really did a humongous disservice with his documentary on the group and how it really left them in disbelief. We touch on Q-Tip being an incredible producer. We touch on Phife Dawg and what their last album name, which he loved, now that he's able to reflect on it, what it truly means, and why Phife decided to go with that title, which they honored. There is so much here. It is a riveting interview. It is an emotional interview. I cannot stress it enough how thankful I am for Jarobi and Chrissy to discuss so many different topics with me. I am eternally grateful. If you like this show, the only thing I ask, subscribe on YouTube, give this video a thumbs up, and if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, give it a 5-star rating and leave a review. Without further ado, it is my honor to welcome in Jarobi White. I don't even know how to begin this, to be honest with you. As anybody who knows me and has seen my background of every single shot that I have taken over the last 5 years, A Tribe Called Quest and Midnight Marauders vinyl is in the background. Mm-hmm. So to say that this is a bucket list thing for me is a massive understatement.
Oh, wow.
And with me now is a founding member of that group, Jarobi White. Jarobi, look, man, we got a lot to discuss. I have so many questions, man. First off, you are also a chef. I feel like most people should know that, so I want to start with this.
Okay.
Well, let me go back to something real quick. Politically speaking, you gave an interview, I think it was to Brick TV, where you were cooking and giving an interview. The camera shots were awesome as well, with some of them going over the stoves and whatnot and the ovens.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, you were talking about how your parents didn't let you watch television, but they let you watch PBS. And PBS is under attack right now, which is deplorable on so many levels. But seeing how PBS has Democracy Now!, Amy Goodman, Sesame Street, what did PBS mean to you as a kid growing up, and what do you make of the attacks going on right now?
Well, PBS for me, it was a way that I've learned a lot of things, man. My whole, I could say that my cooking career, I have to lend PBS a hand of gratitude because my friends were Justin Wilson, Martin Yan Can Cook, Frugal Gourmet, all those things. And I love the Frugal Gourmet in particular because not only did he give the recipes, but he gave the history behind all these things too. So that was super important to me. And that led to my desire to learn more about cooking. Mm-hmm. Julia Child too. I can't forget the goddess.
They're probably just going to start coming to your memory at this point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I'm like, like I learned Asian cooking, Louisiana style cooking, like all those things from watching these shows, and they were like my buddies growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was a latchkey kid. You know what that's like, latchkey kid. I'd come home from school and make a bowl of cereal and sit down and start watching those guys.
So that was your first dish, a bowl of cereal?
No, actually, my first. I was trying to make tomato soup and grilled cheese.
Mm.
And that was my first little start of cooking, get into cooking.
Hmm. Let me go back to PBS for a second, and then we'll get to your dishes and your chef career.
Mm.
I am seeing NPR and PBS being labeled woke. I am seeing it being called communist by some conservatives. Why do you feel as though these pristine institutions are under attack, and what do you make of these attacks in congressional hearings?
Well, PBS gave kind of a non-biased view of news that was going on. Alternative news. Um, it's a first of all, let me say this: if you ever equate woke and attach wokeness to it, you don't even know what woke is. That's the whole thing. I hear these people using woke so wrong. Um, Woke cannot be a bad thing. Woke just means being awake and aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's no politics involved in it. They took something that we were saying, like, "Hey, man, stay woke, stay awake," and turned it into this whole political thing, political issue. And it's so weird to me because they're not even using the word right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so many things that are in Black culture, like other cultures take it and fix their meaning, and not knowing what we meant when we said it.
It's sort of like what Bill Burr said in an interview where he was like, yeah, I see all of these dudes and women, politicians,
Mhm.
who
Yeah.
are using woke. And honestly, it's just all white people. Like
Yes.
it's all just white people
Yes.
misusing it over and over and
Yes.
over again. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene calling fucking Elmo woke. How is Elmo woke? How is that
It's a
possible?
it's a puppet. How's he
Yeah,
woke? How's he
exactly.
woke?
Exactly. It's a
Mm.
red puppet. So are
Mhm.
they just look, a lot of the lyrics of Tribe are also political. So as you've seen,
Mhm.
and even in the environment that you grew up in, is this just another wedge issue that they're trying to drive, in your opinion?
Oh, absolutely. The thing about PBS and NPR and things like that, they bring people together, and all the things that bring people together and make our divide smaller, they're trying to get rid of. They're trying to separate us, and they're doing a good job.
Are they? Because I feel like these are institutions that I would assume a large, not large, I would assume a majority, let's say, of the electorate, even if it was in the 50-ish percentile, would be in favor of keeping this.
Another place for your children to learn from, you
Right.
know? And I remember Donald Trump said something early in his political career. He said, like, I like my constituents dumb or something like that. Or
Oh,
I like the poorly educated or something like that. When he said
yes.
that, like,
When he won
he
in
used some,
2016, we won with
yeah,
educated, we won with poorly educated. Love the poorly educated.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Anybody who can't make decisions for themselves, he's all about that.
Totally. I just fear because my daughter is 19 months old and
Yeah,
she loves Sesame Street. She
yeah, man.
loves Elmo. She just started saying cookie not too long ago.
That's
And she
awesome.
has the cookie doll. Like
Yeah.
I'm taking these as personal attacks because like what did Rosita do to Lauren Boebert? Like what what could possibly have happened with Big Bird, upsetting someone like Byron Donalds? Like, is it because he's taller? Like, I don't get it.
Man, introducing us to new cultures. That's what Sesame Street did for me. Um, Making diversity normal.
Mm,
You
yes.
know, seeing black kids hang out with white kids, with Asian kids, and all of those things. That's what it did for me. I'm like, oh, okay, next time I see this person or that person, it won't be so crazy or a thing to hang out with those people and exchange cultures and learn about other cultures.
Very true. We'll get back to some of the political discourse in a moment.
Okay,
There
okay.
is a name who unfortunately passed away a few years ago that had a very big influence in one of your two worlds, I will say, and
Hmm.
that is Anthony Bourdain.
Oh my goodness.
As a chef and as someone who is also a phenomenal storyteller, what sort of
Yeah.
impact did his passing and also his work have on you?
Um. Uh. When I met him, he was like, "Call me Tony." So, Tony.
Wait, let's go back to this. Where'd you meet him?
First time I met him, I had just gotten a book, Kitchen Confidential, and I was in the airport, and I'm reading a book, waiting for the plane. He walks by me and goes, "Huh, that's a pretty good book, huh?" And kept walking. I was like, holy crap, that was just Anthony Bourdain. And then I met him at a food event years later, and he's super cool. It was the realest chef experience that you can give to people who aren't chefs. He talked about it in a real way, non-glamorizing it, and talked about how hard it is and the hard work and all of those things, and was really respectful of people's cultures.
Yes.
Really respectful of people's cultures, and he was another guy that not just gave you recipes, but he gave you a background and history of the things he was doing. And that was always super important to me.
What did you make of his show? I mean, there are a few. If I'll give you a moment to think about maybe one of your favorite episodes. I thought his. I think it's important that you said culture there
Hmm.
because he didn't try to crap on anybody.
Nope.
It
Nope.
was all about, hey, Americans, I know your textbooks are a little fucked up, so I'm going to put you on to Libya. I'm going to put you on
Yes.
to Myanmar. These are
Hmm.
things that you might not have learned, but you are going to learn through my show. And food wasn't even the staple. Food
Yes.
was just the background to understand different cultures, different ways
Yes.
that people lived, and that in this westernized modern world,
Hmm.
it doesn't necessarily reflect what we see every day.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, one of my favorite episodes was the one where they were in Israel.
Oh,
Was it
yes.
Israel? And they were bombing, and they're just like trying to have a good time and like film this episode and have people eat together. And there's bombs going off in the background and stuff like that.
Hmm.
He was taking a big chance doing that and showing that.
I'm surprised
So
CNN let it fly.
me too, me too, me too. But he had the power that they couldn't stop him from doing what he was doing,
Hmm.
and that's the beautiful thing about it.
Absolutely. On the cooking front,
Mm.
what is the one dish, sort of like a song, that you feel you still haven't perfected, but you're close?
Mm.
Is
Um.
there one where you just have it at the end and you're like, it just needed a little more of this, or it just had to have a little more of that?
Well, that's like most dishes. You know what I mean? That's like most dishes. One of the hardest things for me, um, was learning the restraint in Asian cooking because it's very delicate. And coming from the South, a Southern boy, we tend to over like season. You know what I mean? And I learned through Asian cooking to let the things be themselves.
Which is
And
hard.
not, dude, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Let the natural flavors uh, come through. I'm not taking a subpar piece of meat and taking a bunch of seasonings to try to mask the fact that it's not that quality meat because that's really where the over seasoning comes from. And taking these beautiful natural elements and show them for what they are.
That's a
You know,
beautiful way
not
of putting it.
not trying to put my influence on it. I'm just trying to showcase them the best way I can.
So, did you study in Asia?
No, but my chef Josh Eden, Shorty, what's up? He was taught by John George, and John George was the big Asian food, big in the Asian food scene, and so I learned from him.
As a
And
professional
plus,
chef, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, as a professional chef, absolutely. And like in my journey, I've worked in every concept imaginable, every concept imaginable in every station in the restaurant. I made sure I cooked Italian plays, French plays, all of that stuff. And I've started washing dishes, busboy, all that stuff. I made sure that I had knowledge of everything that it takes to run a restaurant properly.
And as you have seen it, um, there are a lot of different movies, and
Mhm.
even the TV show The Bear that's become really successful and popular over the last few
Yo, that
years.
that show gave me nightmares, man. Like PTSD.
Oh,
Like
wow.
hearing the hearing the ticket machine go off. As a chef, you hear that in your dreams. You know what I mean? You're asleep, you hear that.
So it was accurate.
It was the most accurate that I've seen.
And how many movies and shows have you seen on cooking?
All of them, probably.
Okay, so we're talking probably hundreds, if not thousands at this point. And this is
Yeah.
your number one for accuracy.
Yes. And there was another show called Whites. That was pretty good. That was a few years ago. Mhm.
What was
But
it?
most of these shows glamorize the industry, and it's glamorous, but it's also very hard and disruptive to your family units and like all kinds of things. That's in it. Like that's why I love the Kitchen Confidential book. A lot of chefs were mad because their parents read the book. It's like, are you a drug addict? Well, no, I'm not a drug addict. Because that's what goes on.
Right. Is that what kept a lot of chefs level headed?
The drugs?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not
And
asking names here. I'm just
no, 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 no. Yeah, man. Look, a lot of industries that take a lot of hours to devote it to the actual job, they dabble to keep you going because it's hard. It's hard. They dabble to keep it going.
Did you see anybody? Because look, we all know with sports, it's not a performance enhancer. Does weed slow down a lot of cooks, or does it help them?
It helps you focus in the moment. Definitely, definitely. It gives you the ability to slow down,
But then you're hearing the ticker.
and that brings you right back to earth. It could be the most stressful thing in the world because there's this thing called being in the weeds.
Mm.
And this is like you're just up to your neck in orders, and it's like you're like, okay, I cleaned the last section of orders I have to do, and you're sitting there like doing your little cleanup, like, okay, I got 5 minutes, and then nope, you're like, oh my gosh, you can hear it from across the restaurant, you're like, oh my goodness, here we go. Like you go to the bathroom and you walking back upstairs and you're like, what am I walking back into?
There are Amazon drivers who have
Yeah.
had to piss in bottles in order to fulfill their duties and not
Yes.
get fired by a super capitalistic business that is just the
Just
epitome
your,
of doo-doo.
yeah.
Chefs wise, did anybody have to resort to something like that?
Yeah, I'll tell you the story. We had this older woman, older than me at the time. Maybe she's maybe like 30 or so, working in the restaurant game for a long time. And one day she couldn't get off the line. She just pulled her pants down, and we always have these drains. And she dropped trowel and went right in the drain and went wash her hands. She's looking at us like, "What?" Like you got to do what you got to do.
Did she drink a lot of water that day?
Yes,
Oh man.
yes, yes.
I mean, look, being being north of the city of Chicago, where I am, and where I live, there's a legendary pizza place called Lou Malnati's. Now, I personally did not make the ingredients, but they either had me on the phones or they had me in the back
Mm-hmm.
with all the Mexican homies who I fucking loved. They called me Pelicano because of my nose.
Right.
But true story, I was in that kitchen a lot. And those were some of the funnest, most stressful days I've ever had. And I remember those drains.
So you've seen, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
The sort
So
of
you've seen the
dip.
madness. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. hmm
Yep.
There'll be about two or three of them in the kitchen where after you mop the floors and throw the water to rinse them, you push all the water towards those drains.
Yep.
hmm
Absolutely. All
hmm
right. If there is someone out there who's going to a restaurant and they want to treat the chefs, I've seen some of these prank videos where they're like, "Hey, who made the chicken?" And then the
hmm
chef like slowly raises their hand. "Hey, this is awesome, man. Way to go." So like
Yes, yes,
I'm not saying anybody
yes,
should do that. But if
yes.
someone is going to a restaurant and they want to have the best order and or just like give a show of support to the chefs, what do they do?
Um, I would say buy them a drink before you sit down to your food. But can I go see the kitchen?
What?
Can I go see the kitchen? Can I take a look and say hi to the chef? Or
Isn't that a health
afterwards,
code violation?
like just stick your head. You let them stick their head in the door.
Okay.
And you're like, hey chef, I appreciate what you're doing. Because nobody ever really pays attention to the chef much.
Right. Yes.
hmm Or afterwards, buy him a bottle. That right there, some beers or a bottle. That's the best way to reward a chef.
Yeah, and how many times did that happen to you?
Oh, to me?
Yeah, I'm just
Oh,
curious.
a lot, a lot.
Hmm.
So, I was working in the restaurant in New York. The name of it was August. We got a Michelin rating and all of that stuff. It was I didn't. There were silent owners. I didn't know who they were.
Hmm.
One of the owners happened to be Marcus Samuelson. Um, he came in one day. I didn't see him come in. I made his food, and he came back, mouth full, mouth greasy, with his wiping his mouth. He came up to my station. He was like, "Yo, Jarobi," and I was like, "Hey, Marcus, what's going on?" He's like, "You just made my food?" And I'm like, "Yeah." You see me cooking. He was like, "Yo, you're nice. I didn't know that was you." Blah 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 blah. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Mm.
Sports adjacent, have you cooked for any athletes before?
Yeah. I worked in Atlanta, and there was this gentleman who had a lot of friends in the area, and he would have Steve Harvey, Jermaine Dupri, all kind of people at his house, and I cooked for some of the dudes from the Falcons at the time. I think Roddy White was one of them, if I'm
Oh
not
yeah, wide
mistaken.
receiver.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was one of them.
What were their go-to dishes?
They used to like for me to cook soul food, and he had like a hibachi flat top, so I used to cook hibachi stuff for them as well.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, it is.
If a guy
He
is
had
trying to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, he just had like every piece of cooking equipment that you could ever think of.
Hmm.
It's cat.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
Yeah.
If a guy wants to impress a girl and they just start dating, what is something if he's a total novice, what does he cook?
Pasta.
Damn.
Pasta's so easy to cook. I mean, so easy.
What do you throw on it?
See, that's the thing. My first thing you have to do is pay attention to the young lady, right? Kind of have those conversations like, what do you like to eat? Blah 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 blah, and you kind of go from there.
Hmm.
I would. They say that all the foods that look like genitals, you cook those. Things that look like roses, strawberries, things that look like phalluses. You know what I'm saying? Some asparagus, shrimp, all kind of things.
Hmm.
That's what I would do. But
Okay.
for me, I would probably drag her in the kitchen and have her help me build a lasagna.
Mm, okay.
Mhm.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. My lady loves lasagna, and I haven't made it for her. I
Man,
think I'm a shitty husband.
I doubt it. I doubt it. But yeah, you bring her in the kitchen, help her do, have her do it with you.
Oh no, I cook.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
I'm the
yeah.
cook. Yeah, I'm the cook. She'll she just left to get the kid. I
Mhm.
I will I will somehow prove it to you. Now I'm no Jarobi, but I cook a little here and there.
Well,
Um,
I come to Chicago, we should hang out.
we should hang out. Don't make me cook for you though.
Well, no, you're definitely gonna do that.
Oh man. Okay, I can make I make a good salmon. I like
Nice.
making chicken tikka masala,
Ooh.
and I love grilling a steak. Those are the three.
Yeah, yeah. That's a man thing to do. Grill us a good steak, right? You can't call
Gotta.
yourself a man if you can't make a good steak.
That's right. That's right. You have to. What is the one ingredient that you hate?
Truffle oil.
Oh my god. Why? What's wrong? Why do you hate on truffle oil?
People overuse it too much. People overuse and drown everything in truffle oil. I'm like, I can't taste anything but truffle oil. And to me, truffle oil doesn't taste that much like truffles.
I suppose
Yeah,
truffle oil. That's so interesting to me.
yeah. It's such a overused thing.
Yeah. Fuck truffle oil. All right. So moving on. Um, okay. I got look. I got a lot of tribe questions for you.
Come on, let's go.
There is one thing that really stands out to me,
Hmm.
and it is that you guys performed SNL 2016 just days after the election,
Yeah.
which had to be so difficult. So
No.
difficult because of the not like getting you on stage was difficult, but just the mix of emotions and also knowing that you put out this album be at least some bars in there were because of this guy. So how was that when you put out the album, he won, and then you performed days later?
Dude, I feel like all of that was so serendipitous and God's will and all those things, all those terms they use, because our album, not even knowing, man, to be totally honest with you, was going to be the soothing for what needed to happen. Like we didn't know. Nah, that's not true. We knew he was going to win. I'm not gonna lie to you. We knew he was going to win, and we were kind of pissed off about it. So all the things that were happening leading up to that, like we spoke about it. We did the Grammy performance before that, and I think that's the first time anybody heard somebody called Donald Trump Cheeto.
Busta Rhymes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and that was amazing.
That was
That
amazing.
was that was amazing.
And you guys
Yep,
tearing through the wall too was amazing.
yep, yep, yep. All that thing, like it was so weird because all of those things came so natural to say to us, and not knowing that how relevant. We knew it had relevancy, but we didn't know how relevant it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. And yet it
Because
was.
yeah, because even Phife was going off on a on a political tip too. Like what I'm saying, it was something.
There's, and I know it's to start the album, but like, look, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. On the space program, which I did a breakdown on with the Turks, but like, I'm not just saying this because you're here. I thought your verse was fan fucking tastic, just
Well,
so strong, and I, I mean, like, there are so many moments where a lyric will speak to me, but
hmm
you touched on the future of the people. You touched on metaphorical Molotov cocktails, wink. You touched on the whiteness of presidents. You
hmm
touched on the poisoning of water. You touched on the mass unblackening. This is all within like a 45-second span. You
I
touched.
know it was so heavy, dude.
It was
Like, yeah,
so heavy and it was so good. And then
Thank you.
you went with the metaphor as well of like, going to Mars.
Yeah.
How did you write this, man?
um, it's in my process. It's in my process. I believe that I have a extra special relationship with my creator, and I think that if I sit quietly, I can hear my creator speak, and they give me these things to say. There are things that are on my mind, you know what I mean? But like yeah, it's that verse was insane, bro. Like um yeah, it's a summation of all the things I was thinking was going on at the time. They're talking about going to Mars,
Which
and
they're
I
still
was left,
talking about.
dude, and I was laughing with Tip, and somebody was like, one of my friends was like, "Yeah, man, we're going to Mars." Da, 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 da. And I was like, "Oh, that's where all this niggas not going comes from."
Right.
That's where that came from. Yeah, so I didn't know that everybody was going to catch all of those little subtleties or little
Bullshit.
metaphors.
Don't do that. Bullshit.
No,
You guys are one
dude,
of the most
listen.
historic bands of all time. People are gonna dissect your shit left and right.
Okay, okay, okay. Because the Washingtons, Jeffersons, Jacksons, that's like, um, traditionally those are the names of black people. Also, that's money,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of sort of the black people ain't going, and you can't even pay for it. So there was a lot of things I didn't know that people are gonna catch on to or miss.
How long did it take you to write it?
Don't ask that. You're gonna be so mad. You're gonna be
Oh,
so
okay.
mad.
Well, 10 minutes.
Yeah. 15. 10, 15 minutes.
That's okay. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be mad at that. That's okay.
10,
Dude,
15
when
minutes.
it happens, right?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna also say something that's gonna piss people off.
Oh, let's go.
I don't have a rhyme book.
What?
I don't have a rhyme book.
So
I don't
you're
practice.
like Patrick Mahomes. Like you have a
I don't.
visual memory.
I don't practice. I don't practice writing rhymes. I write in emotion. This is why I say cooking and doing music are so similar. You're only good as your last record. You're only good as your last meal. The thing of when you get something, you cut that first piece of meat and you put it in your mouth. You're like, oh my god. When you hear the record, the beat first time, like, oh my god. So it's kind of like the same thing.
Or is it, oh my God? I'm sorry.
Well played, well played.
I had to.
Yeah,
I'm a smart
absolutely.
ass. I couldn't resist.
Yeah, no, do that.
He said, do that. You talking about how some of your friends were like, we're going to Mars, and you basically saying, we're not going there. Did you have a vision of Whitey on the moon at all when you were doing that?
Absolutely, absolutely. That was kind of one of the inspirations for that song. I did that in the other song, uh, the one with Kanye, Soldiers. What's the name of that damn song? I can't remember the name of the song. The one I did with Talib and Consequence.
Mm.
It's like a sequel to Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these fruitful trees are rooted in bloody soil and torment. Things haven't really changed. We're dormant for the moment. Marks and scars we own it only makes for tougher skin. All that stuff's like a sequel for me.
Mm-hmm. Is it the killing season?
Yeah, killing season. Yeah, it must be killing season on the menu strange fruit, whose juices fill the progress of this here very nation, whose taste has gone bitter through justice expiration. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you don't write any of this down. That's
I,
insane to me.
I write it before I say it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But I go in the studio, I sit on the floor, grab a pencil, and I start moving the pencil around until words start coming out.
And do all of these usually take you about 20 minutes or so?
Um, well, no, not for that song. Not for Killing Season. An anomaly. Uh, the messed up thing about when I tell a story about the song is that it was during that summer where all those black kids were getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
And the fucked up thing about it is that I don't even remember which one because there was so many going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was like in tears and I sat on my front porch and I just wrote that song. Just wrote that song. And I was like, yo, Tip, listen to this. And he was like, yo. So we laid that down. And I was like, I got to get Talib Kweli on that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really makes sense. And I wanted to hear Consequences because he's a different perspective. He's a younger guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted those perspectives because I know I was going to bleed my soul on that joint right there.
For sure. And you did. I wanted to not mention a name without fact checking it because I
Mm-hmm.
was going to say the wrong name because
Mm-hmm.
there are, as you said, too many black men that are being killed by police. Those
Yeah.
names are Alton Sterling, Philando
Mm-hmm.
Castile,
Mm.
um, 2 years later, Stephon Clark,
Yes.
and Botham Jean. Those were in 2018. I thought it was Michael Brown, and that was 2 years prior.
It was Michael Brown, I think.
That was 2014,
That's the one that was in
Missouri.
yes.
Hmm.
I think that was the one that set me off.
Ferguson, Missouri.
And no, and also the guy in Staten Island, Garner.
Eric Garner.
Yeah, I can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
And I sang that song. One of my favorite line. Um, seems like my only crime is having melanin. Connection to the sun so strong the relationship is lusted for causes men to suffocate. I can't breathe no more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Through the music, do you feel like it has helped shift the paradigm in the States? With, I understand the protests took part when George Floyd was killed, but through the music, as you've even seen with an example of somebody who was on this album as well, Kendrick Lamar, with some of his performances,
Mm-hmm.
being a prisoner, being shackled,
Mm-hmm.
seeing the reaction from Fox News and other
Mm-hmm.
conservative outlets. How do you feel
Mm-hmm.
the music plays a role?
The music is whew, only like one of the only surviving forms of uniting people. When you go to these concerts, you see a whole different, a myriad of different types of people, different nationalities, cultures, and all those things. But for that one moment when they're there, listening to them songs, they're one. You see white guys looking at black guys, arm around each other, singing the songs, like you know what I mean. So, music is very important. The frequencies of music heal. That's been proven. Um, and it's a chance for people to let go and not leave all of those negative aspects of getting along with people. They let all of that stuff go. The guy might have a pickup truck with the American flag and a shotgun rack, but then he's sitting next to the right next to the dude with the gold chains and all of that stuff, and they're both together singing the same thing at the same time. And I also believe that large numbers of people focusing on one thing changes the energy.
That's sort of what I miss about being younger and going to a ton of festivals.
Yeah.
Is there is just always that moment where it hits you, where everybody is singing that one song
Same time.
cohesively. Yes.
Woo. On
Yes.
beat, on everybody at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
connected. And I also, when we started off doing shows, there wasn't just one type of music. I remember we went, it was us, um, Ghetto Boys,
Oh yeah.
Queen Latifah. They used to do that back in the days. They don't do that anymore.
Do what?
Have different genres inside the genre
Mm-hmm.
at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you go to a concert, it's all thug dudes, all positive dudes, all this. They used to mix those up before.
Well, I think that also speaks to the fact that Ghetto Boys are now, just if we were to, playing imaginary that everybody is completely healthy and what have you, they're headliners. So
Yeah,
it would be like
yeah,
competitive of like who opens for who.
yes, yes, absolutely,
Too much money to be
absolutely.
made too with the headliners.
Hmm. Hmm. I just want to see people together in unity because that's what we do this for all people coming together. Us, tribe in particular. Our whole thing was about inclusion and everybody being a part of what we're going through. I mean, you're going to hear it through my experience because that's the only experience I have, but it still brought people together. And that was one of the things I love about our group and our fandom.
Why do you think that? And let me just follow that up with this. Tribe is one of, if not the most respected hip hop groups of all time, if not
Wow.
just
Thank you.
music groups of all time.
Wow.
I've been told by a buddy of mine, shout out Britain, love Britain, fellow Chicagoan from the
Mm.
South Side.
Uh,
He told me that I am very intentional with what I play for my daughter. And Tribe is on repeat,
mm.
along with a select few of others, James Brown,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sly, and
Oh, you
then
do. Oh, yeah, you're doing well.
yes. So then we'll mix it up. But I've been told I'm very intentional.
Mhm.
Why do you feel as though your music has stayed not just positive, but been played over and over and over again by millions of people over the span of some 40 plus years at this point?
Jeez Louise, bro. I think that we were very intentional in the inclusiveness. Um, we are shouting, we're proud to be black at the same time, but it's not like, okay, I'm proud to be black and I'm better than you.
Mm.
We grew up like me, Tip, Ali. We went to high schools that were so mixed. We left our neighborhoods and went to specialized high schools. So we were with all kinds of people and we got along, we had all kinds of friends. So it's just the way that we were and growing up and learning things and learning, understanding that despite our differences in the way we look and the way we do things, that there's not much difference between anybody.
Hmm.
You'll find so many commonalities in people you least expected.
From other backgrounds, you're saying?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I think this is a bit revealing. My
Mhm.
parents, not fans of rap music.
Of
Now,
course
hip
not.
hop and rap, different, but
Hmm.
I don't know. It just spoke to me. And if there is, if there is one thing that they will at least just tolerate, which they hate it, all right? They
Yeah.
despise it. Okay.
Yeah.
I had to listen to this stuff on my Walkman in
Yeah.
private because they just
Mm.
did not like it. But if my daughter, if they're in my house and I get to pick the music, at least they won't give me shit about putting Tribe on,
Right, right,
which I
right.
also find to be really, really interesting.
Well, I don't know if you noticed that it took us a couple of albums to even curse on records.
Hmm.
You know, because the way we grew up, it's like we couldn't make this record and be like, here, have our parents hear it. We get, you know, we get our mouth smacked or something like that.
Would you actually get your mouth smacked?
No,
Okay. Okay.
no.
Because if my mom heard me saying a swear word, she would pull out a bar of soap.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
Oh boy, I remember those days. My grandmama was on that. My grandmother was on that. But no, I mean, we wouldn't even think to do it. It wasn't because of a punishment or anything. We wouldn't even think to do it. We would be like, totally embarrassed of like our parents heard us cursing.
Right. Because then they hear it and they deadpan to you, like, come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't want those looks. The looks hurt more than any of the any of the corporal punishment you can get.
Right. Going back in history, I can't play this, but I'm going to read it to you.
Mhm.
This is MCA, RIP, of the Beastie
Oh
Boys
yeah.
in 1998 at the VMAs. And it's going to lead to my question. So, this is when the group received the Video Vanguard Award. He said, this is a bit lengthy, but I want to transcribe it. I transcribed it, I want to read it rather. I think it was a real mistake that the United States chose to fire missiles into the Middle East. I think that was a huge mistake. I think that it's very important that the U.S. start to look towards nonviolent means of resolving conflicts, because if those bombings that took place in the Middle East were thought of as a retaliation by the terrorists, and if we thought of what we did as retaliation, certainly we're going to find more retaliation from people in the Middle East, from terrorists specifically. I should say, because most Middle Eastern people are not terrorists. This is in
Mm,
98, by the way. This was
mhm.
massive. And I think that's another thing that America really needs to think about is our racism. Racism that comes from the U.S. towards Muslim people and towards Arabic people. And that's something that has to stop. And the U.S. has to start respecting people from the Middle East in order to find a solution to the problem that's been building up over many years. This was in reference to the attacks by the U.S. in Sudan and
Mhm.
Afghanistan. Now, 2 years prior, in 1996, there was a concert slash festival, modern day language, which
Mm.
featured the Fugees, the Chili Peppers, Rage, Pavement, Smashing Pumpkins, Beck, De La, Sonic Youth, Radiohead, Blur, Biz Marquee, and some group named A Tribe Called Quest, along with many others.
Tibetan Freedom Concert.
Yes. What was that
Oof.
experience like for you?
Whoa. Whoa. That was an example of a whole range of different people from across different cultures on the same page and aligned in thought and actions and spirit. Um, the warmth we felt and feel from all those artists and being in that environment was kind of affirmation. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
In the same way that us Jungle Brothers and De La Soul got together because we were all pointing in the same direction, that was it on a larger scope.
That's really interesting because you talked about your relationship with De La, which I'll get into in a moment. But considering I think it's safe to say, like, activist is thrown out a lot these days, and I also think that a lot of people have a misconception of what an activist is. But MCA was an activist. He
He was an
brought out
activist.
monks to
Yes.
some of his shows. He
Yes.
had a line where he said, "I think the disrespecting women has got to be through." He
Mhm.
wanted to show that he was another term that's thrown out a lot, but he wanted to show that he was an ally.
Yes.
What did you
Yes.
learn from him?
One of the most he, they said one day that they are embarrassed of their early records about the way they talked about a lot of issues. And that showed me an immense level of self-awareness and growth. And um, you don't talk about activists don't talk about what they do, they just do it. And that's what I learned from that. You don't talk about what I'm doing. Well, I have these lofty goals. You just do it. You show what you show improve.
Right.
You do it. And the growth part. Because we idolized them from early, was around them from early, and watching their growth and their evolution. That showed me that you don't ever have to be stuck in one place, man. You can always reinvent yourself, have new thoughts, have a new vision, and carry them through. You don't have to be stuck in the same place.
Beautifully put. You were also in the studio with Kendrick Lamar.
Hmm.
Considering his ascension, what did you see from his process?
Um, he's a very thoughtful person. Everything means something to him. I knew that even from hearing him earlier than we worked with him, like I knew that he was going somewhere. I thought he was going to go more of the NWA route, but he didn't, and he did it so beautifully. Like um, uh, he's a stream of conscious dude, and it's so cool to see people work and operate like that. Because he didn't write much either. He didn't write much either. It was just like the thoughts that he was having, run it out, stop, pick it back up, pick it back up, pick it back up, and that was dope
You said
to
you
watch.
knew that he was going to be big. What was
Yeah, yeah.
that like lightning bulb moment for you?
Um, it's hard for music purposes to get this and this to work with this and this.
Mm.
It's hard to get that your crazy lofty idea or concept to where people can understand it and then make it sound good. So he was very, very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, he's gonna be special.
Yep.
I was like, he's gonna be special. And he is super like, look what we got. You know what I mean?
Totally. And look at where he is now.
He belongs there.
He belongs there.
He belongs there. Hmm. And you can feel his music.
Mm.
You can close your eyes and peep the narrative, dude. It's special. There's only a few people like that. Biggie, Slick Rick, Nas, maybe, who can you can close your eyes and it's so visual,
Yeah,
and that's very. It's been a while since somebody's come along like that.
I
There's
agree
been a
with
lot of
that.
dope. There's been a lot of dope MCs. Don't get me wrong, but that thing of the connection with the people he's serving
Mm-hmm.
and understand that that's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. There was a buddy of mine who I used to work with that told me that top five lists are unfair, and
They are.
we need to go by tiers. And ever since
Yes.
he told me that, that's what I have done, and I've incorporated when I have these conversations. You agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Why?
Because the eras are different.
Yes.
People's level of comprehension is different. Um, the time that they put these things forth, there are different times, so different things are more appealing than other. You know what I'm saying? Um, Kumo D was once the best rapper in the world, but well, are you going to say he's better than KRS or whatever, whatever? You know what I mean? There's no real saying that because the eras are different. What people are into are different. But for his time, he was that. So for me, if you were that in your time, then you go in that top tier.
Mm-hmm. Is KRS top tier?
Man, absolutely,
Gotta
dude.
be.
He has to be. If you say he's not, then I'm not really judging your rap taste. I'm not
No,
judging your
you
rap
are
taste.
judging their rap taste then.
Yeah, yeah, I am. I'm judging it. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, seriously.
Yeah, you should.
Mhm.
Is it true that Q-Tip, and this is a quote, is nice with his hands.
Yeah, hell yeah. Haven't I said that before?
Dame Dash said it in an interview.
Yo, on a low, Tip has been boxing forever. He's been boxing forever, and he used to spar with dudes like Michael Oluokande.
What? Former number one
Yes,
pick
yes.
of the Clippers?
No. I'm sorry. No. What's this
Michael
guy's name?
Olowokandi was the number one pick. Either, yeah, I
No, I'm
think it was the
talking.
Clippers.
No. I'm not. It's not him. It's a boxer. His name was something like that too. Uh, Tall boxer back in the days. I can't remember. But he used to spar with like professional heavyweights and stuff. So
What?
yeah, yeah. Tip is nice with them joints.
Wait a minute. A heavyweight is at least 225,
185.
185. Okay, so like
Yeah.
a light heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
And how
All
much
those
does
dudes.
Tip weigh back in the day when he was, you know, he
Tip
still looks
Tip,
good. He still looks great, by the way. I'm just saying a younger, spry Tip.
Tip was always large. Like he's not a small guy.
No, he's not a small guy. I'm talking weight wise. Was he in that class?
He was like 165, 170 back like when we were younger. But yeah,
Have you seen him spar before? In
no, he
person?
does all that stuff. He does all that stuff in private. I mean, we've had fights.
What do you mean?
Like on the street.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, my advice to you, leave that dude alone.
Yep.
Leave that dude alone.
That's what I've heard.
I can't. I would love to tell you a couple of stories, but I can't do that.
If you like to omit names, you're more than welcome to. If not, we can move on.
We should move on.
Okay, we should move on.
I'll tell you after.
Okay, fine. I'm fine with that. For Busta Rhymes, the breakout moment is Scenario. Why was that his breakout moment? In your eyes?
I don't think he had the space to really be himself in a construct of a group. That's it. That was
Gotcha.
it.
Who gave him
'Cause
the
the-
hat?
He's Busta is so nice. Good Lord, man. Like his speed, his clarity, like his humor. Like he's such a good MC. You know what I mean? I just think the problems that he was having in his group weren't allowing him to be himself. And you come to the tribe and the De La's, like you can be free. You know what I mean? You can do anything you want to do with us. You know, however you feel you can do with us. And he got his start there.
How do you guys allow them to be free? What's the environment? What's your approach?
There isn't one. There isn't one. Like, just come be yourself. You just got to be good.
Right. That's the bar.
And once you put all these guys together, like these are some of the top lyricists on the planet.
No
You know what I
question.
mean? And the competition is crazy. The competition is crazy. We want everybody to be good, but like you want to be the best one though still. So that was a big reason why all the guys around us were so good, because it was that spirit of competition. So it was like, let's say, steel sharpens steel,
Yes. Iron sharpens iron.
iron sharpens iron. Yeah.
In that song, I have a follow-up on this. We
Yeah.
know Phife is a massive sports fan. RIP
Yeah.
to a massive sports fan. This
Yes.
is something that I've thought about for many days that I wanted to ask you about. Okay. So in Scenario, he opens up with Bo knows this, Bo knows that, but Bo don't know Jack because Bo can't rap. Did Bo Jackson ever holler at him about that line?
No. I think he thought it was funny.
Bo Jackson did?
Yeah. And we were like, yo, y'all should do a record together. That would be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that never panned out.
Bummer.
Yeah, I know, that would have been, oh my God, it'd been hilarious.
That would have been awesome. And then he
Yeah.
actually does rap, and it's like, oh shit, he can rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did he ever beef with any athlete over a line that he had?
No.
Never.
He was never disrespectful. It's like it's all funny shit. Like he was never disrespectful, but he was close with a lot of athletes.
Who was he
Like
closest with?
I would have to say Marshall Falk probably.
Oh, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and Eddie, Eddie George. That was his dude too. Um, uh, so many basketball players. Like we were super tight. I'm still to this day like Chris Webber.
Yep.
Um, because
Also a hip
Fife
hop
were
producer.
that's yeah. Um, we got tight with them because Fife wore the jersey in the
Hmm.
scenario video. He wore a Michigan jersey.
That's what did it.
Yeah, they were. Come on, we're the same age. Them dudes is like freshmen, and Fife was rocking their jersey. They're like, yo, we're big time now. They sent us jerseys and everything. That was so dope.
What was the dopest jersey that you guys got? The throwbacks are key right now.
Well, my favorite jersey that I got is when Eric Bieniemy was at Colorado,
Yep.
and I got the customized joint. Yeah, you can tell us nothing. We got those. The Colorado black with the gold. You
Yep.
can tell us. You can tell us nothing when we got those joints.
Hmm. So you're a supporter of Coach Prime, I'm guessing.
Yes, yes. They just put so much on them so early. Like you know what I mean? Like calm down. Like you got to give these kids and people room to grow. But he
Hmm.
still did excellent though.
Yes, they did. And Shador's going to be a top 5 pick in the draft.
There's no way he's not.
No way he's not.
No way he's not. No way he's not.
Fife was also a guy who's from the East Coast but wore Lakers colors.
Magic Johnson, baby.
That's what did it.
Yeah, we were Magic Johnson fiends. Hmm. But he bled blue and orange though.
Hmm.
He's the Knicks fan to the well until that's he got mad at the Knicks the last couple of years he was alive. He was like, I hate them. We can't do nothing. Our front office sucks.
He's
But
not
let the Knicks
wrong.
no, not at all. But let the Knicks play game.
That's so
We
funny.
we were big homers,
Mm.
but Fife loved the Eagles because Donovan McNabb.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Ohio State, he loved.
That's a
Um,
rough one.
that is a rough one because I was Michigan all day, so he's have those problems.
Who was your influence on Michigan?
Um,
Don't you dare say
uh,
Tom Brady.
no, I wasn't gonna say Tom Brady. It was I can't remember his name. He was a running back when Tom Brady played, and I can't remember his name. But Penn State is my squad.
Penn State?
Yeah,
Why?
Penn State. Jameel Holloway, remember him back in the days?
Nah.
Oh, okay. It was another running back that I liked. College and the Gamecocks, because my family's from Charleston, South Carolina. So I
Oh,
always
there
root
you
for the
go.
Gamecocks
There you go. That makes sense.
all across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Yankees. Of course, the Yankees.
Mm-hmm. Wait, let me go back to something you said. Because he, again, was not wrong when he criticized the New York Knicks front office.
Front office. Yeah.
Yep. Did he have gripes with James Dolan as an
Come
owner?
on, man. Of course. He ruined. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And the move that ruined the Knicks, Allen Houston.
Mm.
That was the worst thing that happened to us. That contract oof. Yeah, that was
Yeah, that was
terrible.
like $100 million.
Yeah, it's when nobody was getting $100 million like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave it to Allen Houston. We're like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I can't crap on Allen Houston. I met him once and he was a really nice guy. But it's
No.
more so the I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's because of the contract that he got that set the Knicks back.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Allen Houston was nice. Like, he can't tell me he wasn't nice.
He was nice.
Hmm.
Was Ewing your favorite Knick?
John Starks, baby.
I had a feeling you were going to say that, actually.
John Starks. John Starks was my guy, and when Oakley was there, woo, just
Oh,
love it. We used to love Oakley. Oh my goodness, dude. Depend on your boy. Depend on your boy.
you saw him beef with James Dolan?
Yes, they totally disrespected him too, man.
Agreed.
Totally disrespected him. He like the way that he laid his body out for our team. You gotta respect that man.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta respect that man.
And having security carry him out like that was weak.
That was weak.
Mm-hmm.
That was weak.
All right, this is a really tough question.
Okay.
But considering that your group is the mastery, the bar of samples,
Mhm.
and there were a lot of good ones. Little Feat on Bonita Applebum, Ronnie
Yeah.
Foster on Electric Relaxation,
hmm
Minnie Riperton on Check the Rhyme,
hmm
Lee Morgan on Oh My God.
hmm
What are, in no order, 5 that stand out where you're just like, oh my God, I cannot believe that we did that?
Well, electric relaxation, that has to be number one because uh it's a 3 bar loop. And that's why it sounds like the sample cuts off and goes right back to the beginning because it's a 3 bar loop in a 4 bar song. So that was pretty dope. Uh, uh, the drum sample from Footprints. I'm blanking right now. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh my gosh, that is a hard one because there's so many that keeps flying. You named the best ones though.
Was
I
that
think.
Donald Byrd?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and the Beatles sample in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Lucien.
Yep.
Oh, Lucien, that's another one. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you nailed the top ones.
What?
You nailed the top ones. You
But
got like,
I was just putting together a list to
but those
frame
are
a
like
question.
the best ones. Do you look at the ones you picked?
So mine is yours.
You Footprints
Yep.
and Lucky Lucien. Those are the other two for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh yeah, those are the ones. Oh, I'm sorry. I just listened to the other day After Hours off the first album.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty slick. He murdered that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I think he said, tip this is, in the documentary that you might have been in the room for Can I Kick It? Were you in the room?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because
Most of
his
the
words
time.
were Jarobi might have been, and obviously, this is spur of the moment, blah, blah, blah.
hmm
So you were in the room for that.
hmm
What was that like?
Um, can I kick it? So, we were scared of going through the thing that Daylight went through with them being soft.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
We were scared of that. So we're like, okay, we need to make a knock. So, to put on a drum sample, and I left the room and came back and had it patched up, and I was like, ooh. We were going crazy, and then Chris Lighty was like, "Yo!" He was like, "I had to make something for the for the trucks, for the Jeeps, for the." So that was the first time I think that we started being like, "Okay, the heavy beats with the melodic overlays was that's our thing. We're gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
but still make a hard beats because our beats they snap.
Yes, they do.
They're very stereo friendly."
Mm-hmm. They're legendary is what they are.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Come on. You know it. You know it. I know it. The American people know it.
I can't say it though.
Why?
I would never say it.
Why?
I would never say it. That's not for me to say.
It can be.
I don't like those guys.
The guys who are too
Yo, my
confident?
shit is yo, my shit. Yeah, no, I don't like that shit. That's not for me. It's not confidence, like self-indulging. You're
Mm, fair
like,
point.
oh, I'm the shit. I'm the shit. Nah, that's yucky, man.
That's yucky. What a professional way of putting that. So with Can I Kick It?
Mhm.
Is it true that Lou Reed let you sample but could not receive any royalties?
Nah, man. What happened was we didn't get it cleared properly, and if we did, we'd have been a far bigger group, I think, because that's when we did our senior. But we can only do the remix.
Hmm.
We had to do a video for the remix, which wasn't on the album, so I didn't sell that album. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he was a fucking bastard because he he let that shit rock, rock, rock until okay, I need that money.
That's how he played it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He could have been like, hey, before I put out, before we put it out, he could have said something about it, right? But he used the bargaining chip of it's out. Give me all of that, or take it off the album.
Damn. So he like rug pulled you guys.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And we were such a big fucking fan of this fucking guy, man. It was heartbreaking. And Marky Mark sampled the shit like what, a couple of months later or 6 months later?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh, he just gets to do it, huh? That looked not good to us, too, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, how could it?
Yeah. Like, oh, he can use the white boy can use it, huh? Yeah.
I mean, respectfully, he's pretty nice, you know. He earned it. I'm
Who?
kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like, who are you talking about? I was like, who are you talking about?
You fucking
you,
kidding me? Fuck him.
you saw my face like,
Yeah, he froze up for a second.
yeah. That wasn't a computer glitch.
No, no. Oh, that's weak, man.
Yeah.
That's weak.
Hmm.
There's you mentioned De La. I
Hmm.
want to get to this. In an interview with Mass Appeal, this is a quote from Phife. He said, "When we first met De La, it seemed like we knew them all our lives."
Yeah.
You obviously felt the same way.
Absolutely.
What clicked?
So we used to have these festivals in our neighborhood, you know, and that's where we met Daylight. We were jungle and we met Daylight. We're like, holy shit, like we start talking and stuff like that. We're like, yo, they have the same kind of humor and all these things, and intelligence and all that stuff. Like, wow, maybe you guys should come. Let's go hang out to the studio, and that's all I started.
That's
And we,
it?
dude, yes, it was so nat. See, it was so natural. They had the same dynamic in their group as our groups, like you know what I'm saying, a leader, a couple of rappers, and all that stuff. Like it was like we like they said, like we've known each other forever.
Mm-hmm.
We like the same things, like everything. It's like weird, like they were our long lost brothers.
What'd you bond over?
Silly shit, man.
Hit me.
Silly shit. Silly shit. Shit like Woody Allen movies, comics, all those type of alternative things that weren't cool for black people to be doing. All of the nerdy shit. We were just big ass fucking nerds, and but we were still cool. I'm like, huh, okay, these guys are the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Very, smart, good raised kids, good families. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was very just natural, very natural, and they had the same views of society. Wanting to learn more about ourselves and all of that, but not be as direct as maybe a Public Enemy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which Public Enemy raised us, so I have nothing bad to say about them. But our because we were all kind of suburban kids, we were raised in a multicultural environment, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think that desire to be accepted and loved by everybody, but still tell our story
Definitely.
and be ourselves. That's the main thing. We were all dressing weird and all of that stuff, and then we were all like, we're gonna be ourselves.
But here's the thing that sticks out to me. After doing a deep dive on Tommy Boy Records and how they screwed him.
Oof,
They screwed
royally,
him. They screwed him.
royally.
One of the things that always came up in my research was this is something that you said previously, which was the perception that they're soft, which they're not, but that they were just like these whatever hippies. When if anybody listened to what they were saying, who cares about the way they dressed?
I don't know.
It should be about the music, no?
Well, that's the only thing it was for us. It's the only thing. That's why they're like, daisies don't mean anything. Daisies don't mean a fucking thing, because they kept trying to shove that as their image. This daisy and hippies and all of that shit. Like that wasn't their design. That was a record company trying to force that shit on them.
And then on the cover of De La is Dead.
The flowers are dead.
Yes.
I thought that was the funniest shit in the world, man.
Did they talk about the concept to you prior to their release?
Of the first album and the second album,
Of De La is Dead with the flowers.
we were all together during that process. So we were there. We were all there. When they were doing the skits on the second album, I did the cab driver. I was the voice of the cab driver when Drez is in the kind of cab.
Oh my God.
And on Peas Porridge, I'm the Indian guy in my land.
Yep. I
Yeah,
remember
that's me
seeing
too.
that one.
Yeah, that's me too.
That actually brings up something interesting. Why are there no skits anymore in these albums?
I think because you don't get paid for skits. And the way that the way people absorb the albums now, people don't absorb the whole album as a project. It's a singles driven thing.
Right.
And it would kind of get lost. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because people don't listen to, like, back in the days, you put on an album, start, finish. Now people jump around and they get to what their favorite songs, and they only play their favorite songs. It might not even listen to the other songs in the album.
Yeah.
Because the way that it's presented to them.
Right. Yeah, that's a fair point. I suppose that's how the industry has sadly evolved. Because some of those skits from back in the day were hilarious.
Devolved,
excuse me. Excuse me. That is correct. I suppose that's the way it's devolved, which is a sad state.
Businesses have people that analyze their business. What are the things that we're doing that works and what doesn't work? Music isn't to be absorbed like that. So they're taking this form that works. This chord progression, these tones, that works. So they try to gear everybody to make the music like that. But that's not the spirit of making music.
Fair.
Feelings aren't an intelligent thing.
You are a wise motherfucker, you know
that? Thank you. When people say shit like that, I was like, I didn't name myself Jedi.
On a serious note,
thank you.
There is. You're welcome. On a serious note, there is one thing with just how my mind works at this point that I connected a few different things. So from the documentary, even though there was the disagreements between Q-Tip and Phife, there was the story of how Phife was declining in health, but he had to pay medical bills. And so when he called y'all up, Q-Tip was like, no problem. Absolutely. Let's go on tour. What this speaks to, if this is accurate, which it seems it is the lack of healthcare in this country.
Hmm.
The fact that you have someone whose health is declining, and in order for them to survive while their health is going down and declining immensely, they have to go on tour and
Hmm.
perform and
Hmm.
make sure that they're okay when deep down they're not. And
Hmm.
as I'm looking at, as I'm watching this, all I'm thinking is that's the American healthcare system in a nutshell.
Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. And there's no uh unionizing. Is that the only word I could think of for us to have a structure so we don't have to do things like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And the kind of money you're getting doing being a musician and stuff like that is not what people think. They have it so wrong. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah. In order to do that, we did that. And also that goes to show that even though they were arguing, we're still brothers and we still love and we still take care of each other,
Hmm.
regardless.
You put arguing in quotes. There has
Hmm.
been disagreements on how the group is portrayed. Um, Q-Tip put out a message about how y'all were portrayed. When it did come out, what was the group's reaction?
We were pissed. That's why we had so much drama around the releasing of that movie and all that stuff. Because Michael Rappaport made that movie for himself. Okay? Tribe fans don't want to hear that bullshit. They want to hear how we looped up this. What record did we use for that? Like, they want to hear that. Then we're nerds. We want to hear more about the process. Tip only chopped up one beat in the movie,
That's right.
like one in the movie. Tribe fans don't want that shit. They want to hear how we did this shit, the processes and stuff.
So you think he is an opportunist?
I think that Michael Rappaport is a huge hip hop fan. He was one of the three or four white dudes that was at the parties back in the days. So that led to us um, using him because he was there. There were other people who wanted to direct the movie, but I was like, maybe they would have been more qualified and made a better product, but they weren't there.
Mm.
We gave Rappaport the edge because he was there. In the middle of the making of the movie, they started having an argument and fight or whatever, and he threw whatever script the fuck he had plan he had before and focused on that because that was the time when the tabloid TV and all that stupid shit was on TV. The sex and drama sells. So that was he got caught up in that.
But really, it felt like it was just a disagreement between brothers. Like everybody beefs.
Dude, thank you. And that's all it was. A one time. Well, we're brothers. We fight,
Totally.
but they don't last forever. He spent his whole time on a whole budget and all this shit on this movie for an argument that probably lasted a week. He made it seem like that's the nature of our relationship, and it's not. It couldn't be because we wouldn't been doing what we're doing if it was like that.
Totally. So this
We wouldn't have
wasn't.
been on that tour getting Phife money, getting all of us bread. That wasn't the case.
Again, I have two siblings. I'm the baby of the family. All right.
Hmm.
I beef with my sisters.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes I would beef with friends because we have a disagreement.
yeah.
But that shit doesn't last.
No, it does not
It'll
last.
last a day or two, maybe three. And then
Yeah.
we'll be like, all right, my bad. I
Hmm.
understand where you were coming from. Or, hey, I don't understand where the fuck you were coming from.
Right.
But you're still my boy and I still love you. It
That's
just
right.
felt petty.
Right.
It felt petty.
It was. Now, what I do like that he did, he set up a nice little uh he set the scene of what was happening in New York at the time, and what kind of led up to us being in this position, in the situation to do the things that we. That part of it was cool,
So the first
but
half.
yeah. But when he started getting into the bullshit, I'm like, you know what I mean? Mhm.
What do you make of his recent turn politically?
It's okay. He wasn't really a fan or as into the culture as I thought he was. It's one of those things like, yeah, I used to be in a gang when I was little, but now I know better that I'm not in no gang anymore. It gave me those kind of vibes. Like it was just a phase of his life.
Huh.
Like he's always been this guy that he is now. But that was just a phase he's going through back then.
Really? So you think even with him being at the parties and everything, he was deep down that guy that he is now?
Yeah, it was just the coolest shit in the world to do.
What troubles me, and I say this as a Jewish person who also has a fucking brain and can
Hmm.
see what's going on, the way that he has spoken about what is happening in present day and some of the videos that came out of him allegedly yelling on the phone about getting paid about
Getting
three.
paid for it. Thank you.
It's like, dude,
Yep.
you are the stereotypical Jewish man of
Hmm.
everything that we don't want to be,
Hmm.
and it hurts.
Yeah.
And even if you are, no matter where you are politically, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
So that's what hurt me. And I'm not even like a Michael Rappaport stan. I don't really
That
give a
did, that
fuck
he could
about
be
him.
bought so easily.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
That's what hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with all that being said, would you have a I'm thinking of the way to phrase this. Would you have a would you have a drink with him? Would you have dinner with I don't even know if you drink. Would you have dinner with him? Would you smoke
Nah.
a cigar with him?
Nah. 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 No. No. Those things exclude you from the man from the manhood. Nah. I wouldn't. No. I wouldn't. I wouldn't sit with him in any kind of way.
What if he saw you in New York on the street?
Depends on the day.
Mm,
It depends on the day because I've had people asking like, "Yo, I see this dude all the time." Like, hey, leave him alone.
mm-hmm.
Leave him alone. I know. Just leave him alone. No, just leave him alone. I'm saying I don't like what he. I know. Just leave him alone.
Right.
You know,
Because then
you
it's a
know.
bad look for y'all.
Man, the punishment that he's gonna get from whoever his creator is and whoever the higher force or whatever he believes in is, I can't do. I can't. Whatever I can do can't compare to that. He's probably an unhappy and sad person.
Oh, definitely.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Not
Because
only is he,
because
yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
not. Because I'm not. I'm going.
Right. Not only is he probably a sad person, he also can't pronounce apartheid. So he can't even speak English. You
Man, that
saw that
guy.
video?
No, I didn't watch that. Yeah, no. I try not to watch this stuff.
He he was in Israel and he posted
Mhm.
on Twitter, "Where is the apartheid? I don't know where the apartheid is."
This guy, man. Oh my goodness, man.
I know.
The people, the people who are saying there's nothing going on wrong. That's crazy to me.
I know.
Feel what you feel, but don't sit there. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, I didn't like that. A lot of people that I love dearly between Trump and this Zionist movement stuff. I've lost a lot of friends, man.
Yep.
It's crazy. Like people I've known for 20 years and more. Like I'm like, wow, this is who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
It's really troubling.
Agreed. On a lighter note, um, when I was looking through a lot of your guys' stories,
Mhm.
Tip kept making music, and he made some fire fucking music. When my
He's
wife
not.
and I drove from LA to Chicago,
Mhm.
we listened to back to back to back Q-Tip albums. This was
Mhm.
20. Oh shit! It was because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
We didn't know if it was safe to travel, and we had to get home.
yeah.
So we were stuck in Colorado in a blizzard on the highway.
Mhm.
Did not move,
Mhm.
and we listened to back to back to back Q-Tip albums.
Mm.
What makes him such a great producer in your eyes?
Man, he understands music and music structure in a way that's super rare. Um, Let me tell you how arrogant we were. So we grew up in the middle of hip hop in Queens. Run DMC, Salt and Pepper, all those people like are, around the way. But we were like, yo, we not trying to be no rappers. We trying to be like Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie, Marvin, like you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't like consider ourselves rappers in that way. It's just that was our chosen form of expression. So that's been his vibe, his wave the whole way through. You know, uh, taking music study and all that stuff. He just has this innate rhythm in him. This innate thing in him that most people don't get the opportunity to express it the way he got to express it. And everything he's a perfectionist. Everything has to be perfect. His desire to make music. Because somebody was like, when we broke, well, when we stopped making music, he was like, "There's no retiring, bro.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? There's no retiring. I'm gonna make the last, use all of the notes that are in my head and my body till until I'm gone."
I love that. That's like
Yeah,
shoot, I just had his name. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Hang on. I saw him at Bonnaroo a few years ago. He's in his 80s. He has a song that goes dun 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 dun, and then the horn comes in. Bound up, but dun 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 dun, boom 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 boom.
I'm not hearing
Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name.
it.
I'm blanking on his name. Wait, did I have it? He has one song called Caterpillar. Uh, oh my God, what is the name of that song? I'm gonna think of it. Obviously,
Yeah,
when we're done here,
yeah, it's gonna come up. Yeah,
it's definitely gonna come up. So he's gonna be making music until his last breath.
yeah, yeah, until forever. Either drop dead or stage or in the studio, something like that. That's his story. Like you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be one of those guys.
At
That's
the
what you know. What I think that's his happy place, man.
For sure.
That's his happy place, man. That's what makes him happy, and I am just so fortunate to be with the group of gentlemen I was with, man. Like man, all of that coming together at the same time. That's a crazy experience, man. I'm super grateful for that, man. I've learned so much in life and music and everything from these guys.
Like what?
The investment in yourself and the investment of doing the things that make you happy and not blocking any of the creative juices or the gifts that you've been given, man.
So that is the embodiment of a theme that you told me before with De La and Busta, that you
Hmm.
guys allow each other to be the best version of yourself.
Hmm. And you get help along the way from these 10, 12 brilliant ass guys too. And I can go to them egoless and be like, hey man, what could I be doing better? And they'll tell you without ego.
But
It's
then but
just
then that also takes your ego away, that you have to view
yes,
it as constructive criticism.
yes.
It's a two
You
lane
know that
street.
you know that no ways nobody's trying to hurt you,
Right.
and we leaned on each other for 20, 30 years, man. Through life. Not just through music, through life. Mhm.
You mentioned that the studio is Q-Tip's happy place. What's your happy place?
I wake up in it, man. I love being in the studio. I love creating. Period. I love being in the studio. I love being in the kitchen. Like now, even with my friends that I hang out with here now, um, they see me coming like, yeah, I'm cooking. And they're like, yo, this dude looks really happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're having a good time, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I am.
Because it's therapeutic.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, but there's nothing, man. There's nothing like being on that stage. There's nothing that compares to being on stage. Receiving what all these people are giving to you because you said some words, dude. It's amazing. It's amazing.
What was that first moment where you felt it that you could remember?
Uh, there's a video on YouTube. It's us performing at a show in Brooklyn, 88, 89, maybe 90, 91 the latest. And, well, two. When we did the Apollo, Showtime at the Apollo, when we did Benita there, that was insane. The whole Apollo's back and forth, jumping up and down crazy. And the Brooklyn show's a more thuggy show. And dudes are just jumping up and down.
That was so authentic.
People, yo, the people, you got to see this, Ricky. Yo, Tribe Called Quest in Brooklyn. The reaction that we're getting from the people. This is a thuggy club. They just want to stand around and look mean. They were jumping up and down, crowd surfing, like everything, dude. It was like we were like, yo, um, that wasn't like a popularity thing. You feel me? It wasn't because we were cool like they were doing that. They like fully bought in. The most beautiful thing I think about Tribe fans is that they know that they're a part of this shit. Other groups makes other people, other artists make separation. You know what I mean? Jay-Z might be the best rapper in the world, but his fans don't react like they react to us.
I agree.
And it's that thing. Um, Somebody came up to me one day was like, "There's only two groups, Tribe and Wu Tang,"
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
and I was like, "Yeah." People, people tattoo our logo on their bodies,
And Wu Tang.
and
Both. Yeah.
both. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's yeah. I'm like, wow. Yeah, our connection with our fans and the people that enjoy our music is different than other groups. They trust us and they believe us. So we have to operate in a certain way.
How does it feel to know that your music is going to live forever?
I try not to think about stuff like that, man. But yeah, it's super humbling. It's humbling. That's what I can say, man. It's humbling, man. It's a beautiful thing, and when people talk about the search for immortality, that's what that is, man.
Mm-hmm. But it's that good that it could span generations.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Cause I walk down the street and a 14-year-old, 15-year-old come up like, yo, y'all are dope. I'm like, what do you know? I have records older than you, bro. I have records older than you. You know? And like we were in Red Rocks. This is one of the most beautiful things. We were in Red Rocks, started raining. People didn't move. They didn't flinch. So after the show, I go in the crowd then. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna stay out in this rain, I'm gonna come and hang out with you in the rain too. And this lady came up to me and was like, yo, I have my daughter and my granddaughter here. And I saw them during a show and they all knew the words and were singing them together.
Crazy.
And I'm like, damn, this is like even deeper and bigger than I'm even thinking. This is like a family thing. You know what I'm saying? A way for these three different generations to have some kind of connection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, that's you know, beyond what our little 17, 18-year-old asses was thinking about.
That's humbling.
Dude, it is. The Hall of Fame thing,
Yep.
insane. But dude, like
Now that you
we
brought it
gotta
up, I want to touch on this because Lauryn Hill had a really good quote. A really good quote. There was a
we
liberation to the sound, is what she said. That stuck out to me.
wow. Wow, yeah. Yeah. Um the fact that we got inducted with Kool and the Gang is insane because we sampled their records. That concept alone bugged me out. Me walking down the hall, I see Sammy Hagar. I'm like, yo, Red Rocket, what's good? He's like, hey, Jarobi, man, it's about time. What are you talking about? It's about time. Like telling us it's about time we got in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Talking to the foreigner dudes. Me chopping up with Slash
Mm-hmm.
and him knowing who I was and talking about our records back and forth. That was crazy. And then seeing Flavor Flav, you know, our big brother, yo, welcome home, and all those things, man. Those
Oh
things are,
wow.
yo, yeah, that was an experience. And I got to take my son and hang out with my son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mind blowing.
There was another
Mind.
quote that stuck out to me. I got a few of these. Andre 3000 said, "It was always in this perfect kind of space. The melodies and the chorus were a certain way, but the beats were hard. They would not have been Outcast as you know it if there wasn't a Tribe Called Quest. They were our gods." Mike D said they were as artistically ambitious as anybody.
Mm.
And Dave Chappelle, who gave a fantastic speech,
That's my brother
said
right there.
said after the funeral, the native tongues all went to Q-Tip's house, and he said, "We laughed that night. We played old movies we'd all been in, old records we all made, and teased each other. And then at the end of the night, Q-Tip played the last studio record that Phife was on." So you were surrounded by a group of your homies. What was the room like?
Oh man, getting chills. There was one night in particular, right? It was me, Rock, and Chappelle, and Tip, and he was like, "Yo, some people are coming over," so I made some food, right? And then Queen Latifah came, then D'Angelo came, and Jack White came, then RZA came, then I'm like, it was not, yo, it was D Nice, it was so nuts that they came to pick us up. You know what I mean? Because there was a point of like maybe 2 or 3 weeks where nothing was happening after Five passed. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and during that process, we go. We'd go into the studio, we'd finish up, and then and Chappelle would come pick me up, and then we would go do his 4 hours of comedy that that he's trying to get back on, get back on track on.
Mm-hmm.
And we stopped doing that. And like one day he just showed up and was like, "Hey man, I know this is rough. I love you. Get your ass up. This ain't about you. Get your ass up and finish this fucking record." And yeah, that was insane. That was insane to have those mega heavyweight people coming to check on us. But that's the culture and the family we built, though. You know.
Yeah. You mentioned Jack White.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually in Chicago, by the way. He's performing at the Salt Shed, which is a phenomenal venue in Chicago.
Oh man. You going?
No. No, I couldn't get tickets on pre-sale. What have you learned? Look, he's fantastic. Like fantastic. He could play anything. Anything. He's that skillful.
Yeah.
In the same vein as we discussed Kendrick in the studio.
Right.
I believe it was in the New York Times piece where Q-Tip said he didn't even, or maybe it was you, one of you, said he didn't even bring gear. He just picked a guitar off the wall.
Yeah.
And just started playing.
Yep. But the guitars that Tip has on his wall though are some serious guitars though. Okay. He's got like a Les Paul 60 something. Like he's got all kinds of just ridiculously beautiful instruments.
What makes Jack White so good?
He's one of those people that aren't bigger than their talent. His ego allows him to convey and express things. He's not tripping off being popular or cool or making good music necessarily. He's doing exactly what the fuck he feels, and that's a powerful place to operate from. And he's such a cool fucking dude too. Like just a regular cool dude. Like, you know what I mean? We was joking around. It was like, "Oh, how you doing, Jay White?" He's like, "Oh, how you doing, Jay White?"
So he's quick.
Yeah, he's quick. Quick. Yeah, funny guy, smart guy.
But no one would know it.
Yes. He's hilarious, nice. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like a really warm guy, you know?
One thing that he advocated for on Channel 4 News was one person, one vote, which I loved.
Yeah.
Loved.
Yeah. And you see, you wouldn't even think to get that from him.
Nope. Mm-mm. Have he chopped it up politically with you guys? Have you guys talked about this stuff?
No, we was too into fucking gushing over music.
Oh, for sure. I'm saying
we didn't even get there. We were too busy, like just gushing.
Oh, no question.
You remember that riff on such and such side B song 13? Yes.
There's one thing. Go ahead.
Go on.
No, please.
No, I'm just saying he's very well versed. Like, you know, he's into it like we are. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was really cool to see somebody else like that.
But also, there's one thing that you touched on, which is the ego of Jack White. It feels like there is none necessarily. It's just him wanting to make good music and navigate through life at his own speed at all times.
Yep. I think all the people that were guests on our album at that time were small egos. Well, except for Kanye and Elton John, but Elton John earned that. He deserves that. He was the only one who wasn't in the studio. Everybody who's on that album was in the studio with us, except for him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have to follow up journalistically. What was the ego with Kanye?
I was suggesting that he got on the song Ego. I was like, dude, if you do the song Ego, you will you'll give yourself 5 years to be able to do whatever the fuck you want. But he couldn't get it together. His ego got in the way of that.
Mm. Yeah. His ego's gotten in the way of a lot of things.
Yeah, he's a good kid too, man. I don't.
It's sad.
Yeah, I guess he's a good kid, man. He's not a bad person. He's just bonkers.
You saw him
Fucking
show
look.
up in the black KKK thing on academics.
Yeah,
That was tough.
that was tough, man. Like for to play with something that's been such a torment and caused so much pain for his people. That's not something to play around with, man.
Hmm.
You think that shit is funny? That's not funny, man. Like, what are you doing?
But like, does he
Who
think
you,
it's funny, Jarobi? Like,
who
I
you
don't
trying to
know.
hurt? Who's he trying to hurt?
That's a question for him.
I know.
I can't answer that.
Himself, us. Like, what are you doing? You got kids, bro. Like, come on. Yeah, I really didn't. I really didn't like that.
Same.
I know a lot of people are laughing and shit. I'm like, no, 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 no. There's nothing. And I laugh at, I laugh at awful things. You know what I mean? But not that. That's not. I couldn't. No.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
I know.
I've avoided even talking about mentioning it with people, man. So hurtful.
Very, very. And especially not only you working with him, but the legion of fans that he had, including myself, where I went to some of his early shows.
Me too.
Like,
I've been to hundreds of them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
hmm.
The dude is, yeah, I mean, talent undeniable. I can't even say nothing bad about his talent, but like,
No.
man, that was rough, man.
Yeah, it felt personal.
Like he's doing it to you personally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too.
Hmm. Here's my last question.
Okay.
I've taken up enough of your time already,
Man, Ricky, we
but
could talk all day, bro.
we could. We could. Rolling Stone wrote that "We Got It From Here, Thank You for Your Service" was released after an 18-year layoff, and a phrase that Phife Dawg picked. Quote, "We're just going with it because he liked it." Close quote from Q-Tip. Admitting he did not know the title's true meaning. Now that it has been some time, what do you think it means?
Damn it. Um. I know some of the people in his family don't like when I say this, but no disrespect to them. I know him better than y'all do. No disrespect. You know what I mean? Fife was trying to. Fife knew he was sick. He knew that he didn't have much time. He pointedly checked off all his boxes that he needed to check before he left here, before he left this plane. Me and Roots, his manager slash DJ, he made the three of us go do these really specific things that he likes to do. Like go to Nick game and sit in the box and all these things. Then things I'll be like, okay, you go have your fun. I'll even come to the garden and meet you at the garden and then we'll leave. You know what I mean? But he pointedly made us do these things. He patched up his relationship with Tip in the most beautiful way. He got to do the things that he wanted to do on the way out. And I think that when he saw that title, he was like, holy shit, that should be the title. Because it was on the album cover artwork
Mm-hmm.
that was written on there. And we used it just because he said he liked it. Like real talk. But now in retrospect, I see why he did that. Because he was wrapping it up. His family doesn't like when I talk about he knew he was going out. But You know, Phife, yeah, that's fucking stubborn, man. So, yeah, I think that's what it was. But it's fitting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Very.
yeah. Hmm.
I want to end on this note. Just one more.
Yeah, you good.
Just one more. At the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I want to end with a quote from you. You said to Q-Tip first, "Thank you for the tutelage, the support, the gift of life. This life, pardon me." You said, "My dad, thank you for the structure. Mama Joan, thank you for teaching me the streets. My Mama Joyce, thank you for introducing me to music." Why did you choose those words for those people?
Uh, I wanted to get out as much as I can before I started crying. That was the truth. It was the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tip gave us so many gifts, you know, with this music shit. Um, my mom's, my mom's a spitfire, boy. Um, and she showed me the streets, how to navigate the streets. My dad, college, service, Southern man, like, you know what I'm saying? He gave me structure. He taught me how to be a man. Um, my stepmother, just for a point of reference, because she's my mom, um, she played classical music. She played the Beatles, Doors, like all of the shit, like, you know what I'm saying? That my dad wasn't into. And religion too. She gave me all those things. Um, so yeah, I was like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? Because you know I'm not a writer.
Right? I was thinking about that.
So he was like, "You didn't write them, boy." I'm like, "Do I ever?" He started laughing, and then yeah, that was it. I wanted I know that I could succinctly put these shits together, these ideas and thoughts together, and like, you know what I'm saying? I know I can package them up. And I wanted to give Kamal time to say what he wanted to say, I needed to say.
Mm-hmm.
So bullet points. But very strong, powerful bullet points though.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Without a
Oh,
doubt.
did you hear how I started the speech off?
What?
Microphone check 1 2, what is this? First thing I said. I thought that was so appropriate.
Oh, no question. No question. What did you think of the performance?
Fan fucking tastic, man. Fantastic. It's good for good to see our contemporaries enjoy this and take this in like they're part of it, because they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the best part for me,
Without a doubt.
and to see the joy in their face doing it, that was, yeah,
Yeah. It was special.
yeah,
And it was special to
absolutely.
watch too from home.
Yeah, thank you.
Jarobi, brother, to say I appreciate the time, I feel like it's a disrespect to the term appreciate.
Well, you knew this was going to happen once, you know what I'm saying,
Eventually. And I am thankful that it did, man.
Me too, man. Thank you.
We talked about a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but most of all, I am grateful for you as a human. I'm grateful for the music that y'all made, because it is the soundtrack to my life. And it just means so much to me. So
Man,
a bucket list
thank you, Ricky,
moment for
so much,
me,
man.
and it just truly was an absolute honor to talk to you. So thank you.
Thank you, bro, man. I appreciate you so much, man. I'm a mutual fan. That's how we got here in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And uh, keep fighting a good fight, brother.
I'll try.
Keep fighting a
Only
good
if you
fight.
do it with me.
You, man, you got all the support you need right here, bro.
I appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, Jarobi, thank you.
You're very welcome, man.
If you liked this interview and you want to see more, check me out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time.